Hey guys, so in this lesson we're going to talk about how to use Canva for your blog, social media, and Pinterest graphic images. And so let's go ahead and jump right into it here. So if you're not familiar with Canva, it is a free program. There is a paid version of it. I think it's like $12 a month, but honestly, I wouldn't even bother with spending the money because you really don't need it. I actually started on the paid program and then was like, why am I spending this money? Because everything I need I can get from the free version. So when you first log in, you are going to see this is basically your dashboard. So this is my dashboard. And this is always going to be here at the top. Some of the most, I guess, common templates or sizing. That's the thing about Canva. It has pre-made sized templates for just about everything. These will show up right here, but if you actually click on create a design, it'll bring up everything. And so you can use this for pretty much anything that you ever need to make as far as graphics, whether it's your social media and blog stuff, or whether you need to make, documents like flyers. And the thing is, these templates are already sized for that specific medium. So, when you have, like, say you're creating a banner for your Facebook page, it has to be like a certain size. And if you just try to do it on your own, you're going to have to do it over and over until you get it to the right pixels. Same thing if you're making like, an ebook and you need to make a book cover, any other marketing materials. Everything for your different social media. You can see YouTube, LinkedIn, Etsy shop covers, and then if you wanted to make your own ads. So it's really great because the sizing and everything is already there for you. So all you have to do is pick whatever it is that you're needing to make. And so some of the ones we're going to talk about specifically are the Pinterest. So if you've been keeping up with Pinterest, they keep changing everything on us. And so their sizing right now is a 1:2 ratio, so you might see the 600 by 900, but basically you don't want to go over a length or height of 1260. And so I don't really like to use the 6 by 900 because, that's what majority of other pens might be. So I want to be just a tad longer, but not too long that I get covered or cut off in a feed. So this one is your standard Pinterest graphic. It's 735 by 1102. For your blog, if you're making your custom thumbnail, what shows up either when you share it on Facebook, the thumbnail image, or if you have your homepage set up to where all of your, like, say, last 5 blog posts are showing one after the other, there's an image that can go with it. You don't want it to be like super huge, so this would be the title size. The infographic, that's if you're needing to make these. We don't really use that one too much. Instagram, you can see it's 1080 by 1080, and the social media one is 800 by 800. Again, if you create something in this square, you can, and want to upload it into a blog post, you're able to change the sizing. So when you upload it, you can set, you want it small, medium, large, or whatever. And then blog graphics, if you're just adding some different images, most of us will just upload just an image, like whatever picture we took or whatever. But I actually use these to create other types of images to upload that might have multiple pictures combined into one single image. And so that's what you would use that for. So we'll go through this dashboard here. If you are collaborating with the team, you can do that here, but we're not going to really talk about in this lesson. I actually am able to create Pinterest templates that I can then give to my readers who may be struggling to come up with their own designs. And as long as they're using Pinterest or using Canva, I can send them a link to where they can edit the template to add, their blog post title or whatever. So there's just some really cool things that you can do in here. So let's go back over here. So we'll just kind of scroll through and I'll show you some different images that I've made. And so these are some of my blog post pins. So my title image, if you've heard me say anything about Pinterest and your blog, you need to have a post title image that has you know, branding to it where it's kind of the same. I have about 3 different styles that are branded to my blog, and so you won't see this one on every single post showing, but you might see this one showing and then this one's hidden. And so it just, you know, provides different variations that you can pin from a single blog post and be able to pin it multiple times to the same board. Creating worksheets is a worksheet I've been working on. My social media posts, so if you're in my Facebook group, you see the posts that I send out each week or each day during the week for different topics. That was created on the social media one here, the 800 by 800. These are just little thumbnail images I use for different things. Some of these are when I do the live training and I have a presentation. I use the presentation template. These are some of my Instagram. This was a Pinterest pin I made for some really cute backpacks. Here's some other, you know, worksheet type things that you can make. I mean, there's just so many things. One of the things, these are some Pinterest pins where I added multiple images to it. And so, you know, you can kind of see, I mean, you can literally make anything in here. And in reference to your blog, you know, you want to keep your branding kind of consistent across your blog, your social media, and your blog, your Pinterest pins that go to a blog post. Now, if you're doing Pinterest affiliate marketing, that's completely different. But everything related to your blog or your website or your business or whatever should kind of have some consistency. And so just kind of go through each of these and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Really quick here. So Instagram, I'm actually, I was just doing the daily, you know, little motivational quotes, but I'm starting to do more lifestyle stuff. So Instagram, not so much, but Twitter and Facebook. So you see I have Bosses Rock here. Oh, and I gotta go Twitter because I have to log in. I set up settings because I got hacked, so now it's kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, so you see I have this, and then, you know, it's the orange, it's got my tagline on it. But again, this is a Facebook header image. And then, you know, it matches. So this is my theme of my blog. It's the nice and pastels, the peach, the orange, the reds. And I keep that consistent through all of my social media. Go back over here. And even in, you know, our private group for the tribe, it's still kind of consistent. And so you want to definitely, you know, once you have gotten your logo, everything set up for your blog, then take it and create your banner images or whatever for each of your social media. And, you know, keep it all the same color tone, the same fonts, the same everything. So this I actually made today. If you've been on my YouTube channel, you may notice, let's see, where are they at? This is what the thumbnail looks like for most of my YouTube images, and I'm actually in the process of changing it, keeping still to the color tone and everything, but just making it a little more bold. As I was following more YouTubers, I was like, oh, this is kind of boring, so I wanted to dress it up. And so I'm going to use this template or format, color, whatever you want to call it, for any YouTube video, such as the one we're doing right now, that talk about blogging and Pinterest and all that, because I'm also going to be adding other videos that are more inspirational, motivational, you know, me just talking about it, you know, getting your life together and how to push forward. And so I'm going to brand those a completely different one from this, but it'll still have the Girl Bosses Rock undertone to it, which is the light color, the pastels and everything. So again, once you've, gotten your blog in order and got your theme and everything, then make sure you come in here. And the thing is, once you create the template, you don't have to come in and create a new one every time. So you see I have this one, this one, this one, and I think I have one other pin template that I've created. So I like to rotate them so it's not like the thumbnail. So you see this would be the thumbnail for if this was the one showing in the post. And then I have another one, like this one here goes with this one. And then I have another one that goes with this. So it's just not the same thumbnail over and over and over in my feed. I kind of rotate them. So I might go pink, red, pastel, pink, red, pastel, if that makes sense. So if this is the post I'm making this week, then all I got to do is click on it and it's already made. It's already there. And all I have to do is change the words. And so the template is there, and every time you're going to create a blog post, you just go in and pick which one you're going to use. And that way your Pinterest images for your blog posts are also branded to your blog. And that way people get used to seeing, oh, this looks like, one of Leanne's pins, because, and you'll notice that if you follow people, bloggers of any sort, typically their Pinterest for the things going to their website follow the branding of the website the same as everything else. And so, I'll change up the text here, and then once I save it, then it comes back over here and it'll be the new one. So every time I just click on it, I don't have to create it brand new each time. Close that one. Okay, so if you are just getting started, like you haven't really been doing this, and this is where I'm going to talk about why, don't pay to use Canva. They do have, so if you want to, we'll just start like we're going to create a design. Let's say I'm going to just do a blog post title frame. So, already you'll see these, and this is great for those of you who may not be artistic enough to, or think you're not artistic, to come up with these designs and styles yourself. You can literally just pick one of these and then adjust it for yourself. So let's say I wanted to go with this layout. Everything in here is editable. So if I don't like this green thing in the back, simply delete that and then upload your own picture. So I actually have a membership to Hotstock, and that's where, all these pretty things that you see is part of that. So I get those every month. She adds new stuff to it. And that is a paid membership, but I have a link to it, and I'll put it in the notes of, down below, a link to where you can get all sorts of free ones. And some of them even send you like a new free one or a handful of free ones every month. Of course, they have a paid subscription they want you to join up for, but you can totally get started with some of the free ones, or take your own images and brand them. When I had my other blog for My Veteran Woman, I used a lot of lifestyle things. I wrote about being a veteran. I wrote about my dogs, my Doberman. And so a lot of my images actually had my Dobermans in them. And so, if you're in the health niche, or if you're in, inspiration or whatever, just take some pictures with your phone, put some filters on it, and then upload. Just make sure they're high quality, they're bright, they're colorful, and then use those as the background. And so we'll just kind of to play around with this. Let me find one that's a little more colorful. I'll upload a new one over here. And so this is a a rectangle. So let's just pull this one in here. And then once it uploads, you just click on it and it's gonna should put there in the back. Well, is it not? Oh, there we go. Okay. And then of course you can, adjust it to however you want it to look. And so we don't need this orange to be orange. So let's say, we might want to go red. That one. And then, you can make it a little wider if you needed to, make it more narrow. You can pull it down. And then this, you can change where, put it back on there. My blog post. Whatever the title of the post is going to be. And then you can change up here. They have a ton of different fonts that you can choose from. And so again, whatever font you choose, you need to be consistent with that font across everything that you make. Again, not talking about affiliate marketing like for Pinterest and stuff, but everything as far as your banners, your Pinterest pins for the blog post, any images that you create in the blog post, and everything should be consistent. And so for mine, I use Canva 1, and then I also use my little cursive one here. So you can kind of play around just to see, what works for you. Now, I will say when you're using them for blog post titles, it's okay to have a fancy cursive thing for like one word, like one main word in it, but try to avoid using the cursive as your primary. So for me, I use the Nikon for just Girl Bosses Rock, like the name of my blog. But anytime I'm doing my post titles, I use the Canva one. And the reason is sometimes the real fancy script fonts, they're just really hard to read sometimes. And so it may look all nice and pretty, but you have to think, not everyone has perfect eyesight. I'm one of them. And so some of them may also be looking at it from their mobile device, their phone, which is a lot smaller. And so make sure it's a nice, clear font that you're going to use for the bulk of your, whatever you're making. And so let me see if I have... you may see some people, well, I'll just go to Pinterest real quick, who have a combining. So like they have sales funnels on the future with some fancy stuff here. Like this one here, 3-step strategy for more, how to get, and then traffic from Twitter is in a fancy thing. This is okay. Same thing with like this one. I would stick to 2 fonts. This kind of goes with the whole DIY thing, so that's okay. But in general, you don't want it to be too busy. When you're scrolling through Pinterest, just look at the different ones and what kind of gives you overwhelm when looking at it. The colors that overwhelm you, the fonts that just you're seeing as being hard to read, and just kind of use that as a guide for your own. And that's not just for your Pinterest pins, it's also, for whatever else. So you can see here, I have the Girl Bosses Rock in the script, and then everything else is the Canva. And I do that across everything. The only time I use, for my Pinterest pins, I put Girl Bosses Rock at the bottom, or if I put the full web address, www.girlbossesrock.com, I'll do it in Canva also instead of the script, just to make sure they can read it so they know where my website is. Okay, so again, and then down here she had her, and you change that color to there. And then, and brand it. I mean, you could do Girl Bosses Rock, or, for me. It's important, I'm sure you've heard, like, especially with Pinterest, people stealing pins and all that crazy stuff. So anytime you're doing them for Pinterest, make sure, brand them. Like I showed you on mine, I have Girl Bosses Rock on them and my full website. People can still, like, cover that up or whatever, but it just helps them to relate that image with your branding. Back over here. And so, like I said, everything here is movable, editable. You can change the font, you can change whatever. So that is basically how you would use the templates with your own images. You know, I have, let's see here, I had a, you know, if you were doing something funny, go back. I have all these images here, kind of fun one. You know, you could put this in there as well and play around with it. Just, again, it depends on what your theme is, you know, what you're going for, and so forth. All right, so we're going to cut that one. And so I'm going to actually also do Instagram. Another thing from here, from your main dashboard, you can find templates if you're looking for something a little different. And by templates, not just the sizing and all of that, but the layout. Let's say we wanted to create some Pinterest ones. So you see how these are already, you know, again, if you're not good at doing all the artsy stuff to make it really great, you can use these templates to get you started. You know, but again, pick one and kind of go with it. But you can also use some of these for your affiliate marketing. I showed you a couple of, like the ones that, and I'll go back to it here, the bathing suits that I've used. There we go. These were all created from some of those templates for Pinterest specifically. This is one here. And it just, I imported 4 different images, and then I changed up the color and the wording on the little thing that was across the top of it. So, you know, this is very, very helpful in you and helping you figure out what your branding style is too. You know, if you just don't know where to go with it, you know, I mean, this is cute for something that's, it doesn't have to be a beach. I mean, really anything, but definitely use these to get started. And again, you know, put your own images in here, or use the branded stock photography like I mentioned already. We'll go back to templates. But you have also in here, let's see, worksheets for those of you who may want to create things to give your readers, like downloadable items as an opt-in freebie. All of these can be edited, as like I mentioned, everything in here is editable, but it, you know, like I probably would take me forever to put all these components in here by myself. But you can go through and look at the different ones and then adjust it. And, you know, any of these like can be removed. You can add more, changing the color and so forth. Let's see, we got report cards, social graphics. Here's some Instagram kind of layouts. You know, most of us use Instagram for real life photos. But if you were doing, you know, adding text to it, you know, this might help you figure out a good way to present it. Or if you just want to upload square images into your blog post, you know, here's one that's an image in the background with text overlay. But I love it because it's so, there's Instagram. Everything's done for you. You literally just have to go in here and add your own stuff and change it up a bit. And so I use this like exclusively. And again, everything is available to you through the free version. So why would someone pay for the paid version? Okay, so if you come up here and let's just type dogs. I don't know. Get dogs under my feet right now. There are free graphics that you can use, depending on what you're trying to make, you know, whatever. And everything that you do here, you can change it, make the different colors, right? But then you'll notice Pro, you have to be on the paid version to be able to get this. Flowers, all of these, again, the colors are all editable. Now, let's say you didn't have a stock image subscription or whatever, and you really wanted to use, you know, one of these, like this one, I don't know. You'll notice when you put it over here, it's got the watermark on it. So what you can do, instead of paying the $12 a month, you are able to buy them individually. So you see they're $1. The Pro ones, you do have to be on the paid subscription to use those, but you can use this and finish creating the entire image, and then when you get ready to download it, it's going to ask for you to pay. And so you get a one-time use, and you can read more about the licensing here. And then what I recommend, so if you say wanted to buy this, you go ahead and pay. But if you were going to use this as like your branded image, which I do not recommend, but if you wanted to use it for multiple, say, Pinterest images or something, save it by itself without your text overlay, save it to your desktop, and then re-upload it as an image, and then when you put it over here, it won't have the watermark on it. That's my get around. I use these occasionally. Like I started doing Pinterest pins for CBD oil products and hemp products, and so I found, you know, some cool images like this marijuana leaf and stuff. Actually, it was this one here, and I used that as the branding for all of my CBD oil. So I use this. My stock photography subscription doesn't offer this kind of stuff, so it was like a one-time thing that I needed. But again, you can pay for it as you need it. $1 here, $1 there. Do not pay the $12 a month when you can get much better graphics elsewhere for free. Okay. And then you can see, you know, there's more of these here. So I'm going to just kind of make one here. So like what I had done, here's something we could do. So let's erase that. Over here in Elements, well, let's go through this dashboard first. Okay, so layouts, these are, you know, just different layouts. But go into Elements, this is the additional stuff you can add. So there's free photos here, and that's where you would search this bar up here. If you wanted grids, to where you just drop the picture in and it sizes it. Frames, yep, and so it would drop a picture into here. There's a few other frames, and I'm going to use a frame here in a minute to show you something. Shapes, this is where you can add that overlay. So let's say you wanted to change that color here to put, you know, a color on top of a color, or a box to put a caption in. This is where you would get those. There's circles, circles within circles, and most of these are free. Really the only ones I use are like the squares and circles. I use those for all of my text overlay. Like, you know, this was a pre-done one, but these are all of my posts. So I started with just a blank, and then I uploaded an image in the back, and then I put the gray overlay on the top of it. Same thing here, a white overlay with pink overlay. And then lines. These are great for just added, you know, you can just add a line. You know what, let me make this background, because it's, okay. You have, you know, just different types of lines, and this just adds flavor to, you know, the image. I don't use very many. I use the lion and occasionally use this diamond one. But whatever works for your branding. Illustrations. I don't really use these either very often, but you know, there's a lot of free ones in here. These would be great if you were making worksheets, just to add some color to them. Icons, if you needed to make a chart, you've seen bloggers who have charts, this is probably where they got them from. And a lot of these are free, so it's really great. All right, and then your text, you have, you know, there's 3 settings that automatically, but you can adjust these once it's in there. You just come up here and make it the size you want. Change your font, change your color, you know, your centering. And then spacing is if head heading. So see how there's kind of, depending on, you know, what you're writing, there's a big gap there. You do line height and it just brings it closer together or farther apart. And this would be like how we were talking earlier about having 2 different fonts on, like, say your banner image or whatever, your post title image. So to keep everything in line, you could go like this. Let's say everything you need for managing your and it would be for social. Okay, so this is, let's say this is what I was wanting the title to be. So I'm going to remove social media management. There we go. And then we might space this out a little more and then add and then change this up to some crazy playlist or something. So that's one way to do it. But again, just depending, you know, the words and stuff that if you want them closer together, if you want them further apart, that's how you would do that. Okay. And then, you know, for like Instagram and some other things, they have some like templates already made here. I have never used these myself because I like to just, you know, come up with my own stuff. But these are here that you can look through, and most of them are free. And then if you wanted a standard background, there are some patterned ones that are free, and then some others that you would have to pay for. I just use the free solid color backgrounds, as I did here. And then, of course, your uploads. And this is anything you upload from your computer. So let us create a design. Okay, Instagram post. And just gonna go with that one. Let's see how it just popped up in there. You could change up, you know, spring. I don't know, whatever. And then change up these words as well. And if you don't like how this, you know, is set up, you can totally just highlight it and hit the delete. And it should delete the whole thing. And then you could add your own text, whatever you want it to say right there. And then you simply hit download, save it to your computer, and then upload it to social media or Pinterest or, you know, whatever you're using it for. So again, I encourage you to get in here and kind of just play around with it. Look at all the different templates that they have. You know, look what other people are doing, but definitely, you know, the templates are a great way to get started, to give you some inspiration on how you want it to look. And as you do it more and more, that artsiness that you didn't think you have will actually start coming out. I used to think I could not create these things to save my life, and now I don't really use the templates anymore except for like Pinterest for my affiliate marketing. And then you can see, so this is what I was talking about, those thumbnail images, creating the little sidebar ones, and then the ones that go in your blog post. There's my post title image. So this is my pinnable image. And then if you hit pin it button, some of these have multiple images for you to post or pin. So you can see here all the different styles that I use on my own blog. So that's it. I hope this made sense. I hope this helps you in getting the branding down for your blog and social media. Again, just remember to be consistent across all platforms. You know, if they go to your blog and it's all pastels, and then they go to your Facebook or your Twitter and it's all like bold in your face, dark colors, you know, it's kind of conflicting. So you want to resonate across all platforms of that, you know, you're the same no matter where they find you. And then, you know, and it's okay to kind of rebrand later on. You know, I've gone through several changes myself. I started off with one color theme, which is the pastels and everything, but the images that I was using, I don't know, I kind of got bored with them after a while. So I revamped everything, but I still kept to the theme and tone of my blog, which is the orange and the pinks and the reds. I just used different images for the backgrounds and different layouts that kind of was more in line with the feel I was going for. So that's all. Put some comments down below and let me know that you found this helpful, and I will see you guys in the next training.